Honourable Leader of the Opposition. After 8 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the cost of housing. The cost of housing has, in fact, doubled since he promised to make housing more affordable. According to rental.ca, rent has increased by over 20% throughout Canada in just 2 years. That is over $400 more for rent. Will the Prime Minister reverse his policies that caused this crisis? He needs to stop the bureaucrats who are blocking construction, and he needs to bring down deficits and interest rates. The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the Conservative member for Dufferin-Caledon best described our ambitions when it comes to housing. He said that our housing minister seems to announce a new program or announcement every day. He is absolutely right. We have been working hard week after week. We have reached new agreements through the fund, in the Housing Accelerator Fund, and we have developed new tools to speed up the construction of affordable housing. We will continue to focus on our goal, which is to speed up home building. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition. Announcements, programs, checks, yet no housing. People cannot live in housing or announcements made by this Prime Minister, who is just not worth the cost. In fact, construction sites have decreased. They have decreased by 28% in December as compared with last December. Will the Prime Minister put an end to these programs which balloon bureaucracy costs and interest rates so that we can truly build housing? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, the only thing the Conservative leader is offering is insults. He insults Quebec's elected officials and politicians. He insulted the mayor of Niagara. He uses the homeless as accessories for his own photo ops. A responsible leader, Mr. Speaker, will take action to invest in communities and to invest in housing. That's what we are doing. We removed GST for construction of new rental housing. We also announced funding, including $900 million for Quebec for housing. We are here to invest and to build. He's just here to insult people.
The opposition.
Mr. Speaker, hundreds of thousands of dollars are being spent on bureaucracy. We don't need this bureaucracy. The bureaucracy has ballooned by 50% since this Prime Minister took office. What we do need is not bureaucracy, but housing. His housing agency said that we will need 3.5 million housing units. But this week, the CBC said that given our population growth and the drastic drop in construction, we will in fact need 5 million housing units. Where will these 5 million families live? The Right Honourable Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, he's talking about bureaucracy, but on the contrary, we're investing in municipalities in order to decrease red tape and to speed up home building throughout the country. We have signed about 30 Housing Accelerator Fund deals in order to build more units faster. We are going to increase densification. We're improving zoning. We are speeding up the use of certain lands, and we are increasing affordable housing. We're here to invest in a real and tangible way. Meanwhile, he just wants to insult people.
Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, these are the same promises he made 8 years ago before he doubled housing costs. He's not worth the cost of housing, which is up 100%. In the last 2 years alone, according to rent.ca, the rent is up 20% or $400 for the average family. And now we learn that construction is in free fall, down 28% last December versus the December before. Will he stop funding bureaucracy and driving up interest rates so that we can bring homes Canadians can afford?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Our housing ambition can be best summed up by the Conservative member for Dufferin-Caledon, who said that it seems that every day our Minister of Housing has a new program, a new announcement, or a new check for Canadians. That's exactly right, Mr. Speaker. We continue to work hand in hand with Canadians, with municipalities across the country, municipalities he'd rather insult, to get more homes built faster, Mr. Speaker. The investments we're making, including things like taking the GST off purpose-built rental housing, which the Conservatives voted against, will continue to create more homes for Canadians right across the country.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, you can't live in announcements and programs. You need homes that have walls and floors and ceilings. The Prime Minister doing another selfie in front of a construction site won't do that. In fact, construction is down 28% in December after 8 years of this Prime Minister's promises and spending. Will he accept our common sense plan to build homes and not bureaucracy?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, just last week I was in Kitchener-Waterloo making an announcement for the Housing Accelerator Program for Waterloo. And what the Leader of the Opposition seemed to have missed is we were standing in a freshly completed building for seniors that $33 million of funding from the federal government a few years ago allowed to be built today. We are building things today that people are moving into in the coming weeks, and we are announcing how we are building things for tomorrow, as opposed to him who just chooses to insult Canadians, insult mayors, and insult our intelligence.